Yes, we did. I had a question on page 2 of the minutes. At the very bottom where it starts out with Maggie Collins introduced Rich George, and then it said Mr. Rich's statement. I was a little confused if he was Mr. Rich or Mr. George.
It's Mr. George. Unfortunately, he's saddled with 3 first names, for what it's worth.
Okay, so then the second line would say Mr. George's statement.
Thank you.
Any other corrections to the minutes? Okay, we have a motion.
I'll move that we approve the minutes for June 11th, 2001.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay, we have another discrepancy here before we go on. We had at the top of our draft here June 11th minutes, but then on number 3 on the first page we have approval of minutes April 23rd.
We approved the minutes for April 23rd at the June 11th meeting. What was it?
Sort of missing the month of May.
This is just, usually we don't have that in there. Okay, anyway, we'll just go on to accepting the minutes for June 11th then. We have a motion and a second. Please poll the commission.
Commissioner Bailey? Commissioner Mengelberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Surratt?
Aye.
Chairperson Carter?
Aye.
The motion passes with corrections on the date. Well, checking that out, and also one correction on name.
I see what he did on there. He just listed that as one of our agenda items that we had done. It was a bit confusing for a minute there, but I'm up to speed now. Let the record show. Well, barely up to speed, but nevertheless. Okay, should we go ahead and handle this draft letter on the TGM Smart Development Code assistance request?
Yes, Chairperson Carter. The Planning Division has submitted 3 separate grant requests to with the Transportation Grant Management Program, or Transportation/Growth Management Program, and there are 2 or 3 categories. One of the grants was to finish up the comprehensive plan and zoning language for phase 2 of the downtown community plan. We're halfway through that process and we're stalled. So we got word last week that the category for which we asked for this money was inappropriate, but we were strongly encouraged to apply to this category, to this other category. And the category is TGM Smart Development Code Assistance Request. Therefore, staff drafted a letter that if you approve will just be an endorsement of the need for completing the project and how granting the city funding in this would be consistent with the statewide Transportation Growth Management Program. So the staff's request is that you, by motion, adopt this letter language, and then when Chairperson Carter signs the letter, we can send it off in the packet to Salem.
Okay. I have a couple of typos that need to be fixed up. Starting with Dear Mr. Gardner at the top, it's Gloria Gardner, so I assume that should be Ms. Gardner.
Yes.
In the second paragraph, on the third sentence, it's got comprehensive plan twice. And then the very last dot at the bottom of the page, we need a space between greater public safety.
Mm-hmm.
Any other
I might
questions?
suggest one other one. In the second line, the first word is assistant for TGM Smart Development Code Assistant. I wonder if that should be assistance.
I believe that's correct.
Okay, with those corrections, are we ready to make a motion?
You want to do it? I would move that we ask the, approve the draft letter supplied by staff supporting a planning assistance grant to enable the City of Oregon City to get on with the completion of Phase 2 of the Oregon, of the downtown community plan, and that as amended by the comments a little bit earlier, some of the typos and slight editing. At any rate, we approve the letter and ask Chairperson Carter to sign it and send it to the Department of Land Conservation and Development.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Please poll the commission.
Commissioner Surratt,
Aye.
Commissioner Mingelberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Bailey,
Aye.
Chairperson Carter.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimous. Thank you for the proofing.
Okay.
Just a point of information, how much are you seeking?
I knew somebody was going to ask me that, and I don't have that
You haven't
number
worked
at
out all the
the
numbers
tip
yet?
of my head.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay, well, there's no public comments, since there's no public here.
There's two.
Well, true. Kathy, did you have any comments tonight? No? Sarah? No? Okay, well, do we want to continue on at 7:15 now? So do we want to just start with our agenda items, or continue on for a little bit longer on our other items?
I think staff would recommend that you go ahead and start your public hearings.
Okay. Well, this evening we have two public hearings that are zone changes. We have ZC 01-02, which is the Oregon City School District, a zone change from Clackamas County future urbanized 10-acre minimum to City of Oregon City Campus Industrial. Clackamas County map 3S2E9D, tax lot 1200. And we also have a zone change 01-03, Thomas Hurt, and a zone change from R10, single-family dwelling district, to an RD4, two-family dwelling district. And those are 678 and 674 and 668 Warner Parrott Road, map number 3-2E, 6DB, tax lot 1700 and 1800. And Ms. Collins will be presenting for staff.
Thank you, Chairperson Carter. I'm subbing tonight for Barbara Shields, who was called away due to a death in the family. So if you'll bear with me for a minute, I'd like to put up the overhead to explain where the property is located. This is a request for a zone change, as was already mentioned, for some acreage that is owned by the school district, the Oregon City School District, and the request is to change from a county zone to a City of Oregon City campus industrial zone. We've been working with the school district on a site plan and some annexations and a whole series of things for the location, ultimate location of the new Oregon City High School. And this is an area of approximately 18 acres, which is currently still zoned by the county zoning standard. And the reason I bothered to go point it out is that there's some other yellow parcels on that map, and it may not be readily apparent from the graphic that it's the 18 acres, frontage of which is on Glen Oak Road. This parcel makes up the last piece of approximately 68 acres that is the consolidated Oregon City High School campus area. If you would recommend approval of this zone change request, the property would be in the conditional use request for schools. So automatically, school uses are not permitted in the CI district. However, with the conditional use, proposals could be reviewed and acted upon. That will make the entire 68 acres subject to, no matter what their underlying zoning is, to a conditional use permit for the future after the site plan for the first phase is approved. So we think that has an advantage of being a good way to implement future actions on the property and to bring a consistent overall look at the 68-acre parcel now, how it becomes a school campus in the future. You'll find on page 3 that the staff has reviewed the relevant goals from the Oregon City Comprehensive Plan, and we've concluded that the request satisfies those goals. Next page, we have looked at the public facilities and services. With a zone change of this sort, where you have a parcel that's larger, which is part of another parcel, the question is not whether of adequacy so much as can the area be served. Given that there may be because it is a campus industrial use, there could be some kind of change in that particular use would come on site. So if you sort of stand back from that parcel and look at it, the real question is, can the area be served? And we have found, staff has found that the zone change could be granted because the area can be served. So that satisfies criterion B. And we have a criterion in C where we say that the subject property is part of the high school campus site. So in the case that it's used for high school use, now or in the future, it would certainly kick out, in the future at least, another conditional use permit with attendant review and assessment of the services. So staff believes, because it's part of the larger issue of transportation facilities to which the school has agreed to service the whole site, that the one parcel can meet criterion C. And finally, statewide planning goals are addressed through the city comprehensive plan. So in conclusion, we recommend that the Planning Commission recommend to the City Commission to approve the request to zone change from the county future urban 10-acre minimum zone to the Oregon City Campus Industrial District zone for that subject property. And I'd be glad to try to answer any questions you might have.
Mr. Bailey?
So, I'm trying to understand here. Tonight, we are approving a zone change from a county zone designation to a city zone designation. The site was previously annexed to the city.
Correct.
I saw that in the record.
Yes,
But the zoning was not changed at the same time?
that's correct.
Sort of procedural thing. Then there will be a future action on this property, which is the actual conditional use permit, or is that a staff level?
It would be at the staff level, and at this point, any action on the property is part of the site plan for the entire site. What I was trying to get at, however, was any change or difference from the approved site plan in the future would require a conditional use permit review before any more than what is already approved by the site plan goes on.
Okay, so if in the future they've decided that soccer fields didn't cut it and they needed to build some additional facilities on the tongue, going to Glen Oak Road, that would be a conditional use permit.
And that would be a new application.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's the safeguard, or for instance, opening up a major access road through the property to Glen Oak Road.
There's also always the
thing.
chance when you're, or it's always kind of important to step back during a zone change and ask yourself the uses that the requested zone change allows one to do, and they're all pretty much industrial and light industrial and
Sure.
manufacturing and campus manufacturing. Yet another use for that parcel. So there's two ways to look at it. This case it's what the school district considers housekeeping to get the zoning in place, the campus industrial zoning. However, you can stand back and look at it and say, this is a viable piece of campus industrial property. Is this the proper zone? If you believe it is, well then, your recommendation, it holds some double weight.
I guess I was mostly wondering about the sort of the procedure to actually enable them to use the property as to whether or not we would be seeing another action come before us on a conditional use permit. But what you're saying is that
Only with
No.
deviation from the site plan
Yeah.
that the staff is working at administratively now, and from your conditional use approval previously.
Well, it is interesting to me that, in some ways, given the residential development in the area, that this is, in an interesting way, sort of probably a friendlier use than some other uses that might be permitted outright in campus industrial. On the other hand, it is an interesting question and debatable as to sort of the future of this whole internal piece of the triangle between Beaver Creek Road and Highway 213. Clearly this is key to the city's high school plans, there's no question about it. But it does raise the question of what's the alternatives. And I myself don't have a problem with them using it as part of the overall layout that we've been looking at. But it does raise the question of campus industrial and kind of the other alternatives for the other properties in that area.
Adjacent to it, yes. Mhm.
Out of curiosity, what is the existing site zone, do you know?
The existing what?
The existing school site where the Moss campus is currently. You know, the yellow site right above it.
Well, actually, the school's on the purple there.
Oh, the school's on the purple. So do you know what that's currently zoned?
That is currently zoned R8.
Oh.
So really, the school is a conditional use on virtually every piece of the site.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we follow Mr. Bailey's thinking long, we would naturally want to ask the question, why would they not be asking for an R8 zoning as opposed to the campus industrial?
The property came annexed into the city as industrial, and the automatic R10 residential zone that is assigned to residential property that comes in the city cannot be assigned to industrial property. So in short, well, another way to not be so confusing, hopefully, is to say that the city's industrial zone, map designation carries 3 zones that one has to choose amongst. One of them is CI, Campus Industrial. One is M1, Light Industrial, and one is M2, Heavy Industrial. So there's no automatic assignment of an industrial zone to property that comes into the city designated as industrial on the plan map.
I think to answer your question, it would have required a plan change. Right now,
Oh,
they're
I beg your
avoiding,
pardon. Yes, I'm sorry.
they're avoiding changing the comprehensive plan. They're just simply asking for a zone change, because no matter how you slice it, it's always going to be a conditional use.
Right, if it would have come in already as county residential, then it would have been a residential designation.
It would have been an R10, and in that case, schools are conditional use.
Still would have been conditional use.
I believe they're conditional use in the R10 zone as well.
Yeah,
Let me
yes, they are.
So anyway you look at this property, to the property owners, they know about the conditional use, and the advice they got from the city planning division was take an industrial zone, because that was what the county and the city agreed upon the area ought to be when it came into the city.
Okay, and then just for clarification, annexation is a process that is done on its own, and the zone change has to be applied for after the annexation is complete
And voted in by the
by the citizens.
correct.
Are there any other comments? No? Are we ready for a motion?
Chairperson
I guess we
Carter,
need to close the
you-
public hearing, don't we?
well,
Or
you
have
probably need to-
testimony.
Open it first.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself tonight.
You may not have even opened it, so by fiat, we would have it open, and then I did the staff report, and if you're following the public hearing procedure, you might just want to run through that before you close it.
Yes, please.
Oh, gosh, just throw me a slight curve and I fall apart.
It's that slider that'll get you.
Okay, well, because this is a quasi-judicial application, we do need to open the public hearing process, and the public hearing has a procedure that has to be followed with regard to quasi-judicial hearings. Mr. Kleisman, do you want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah,
He wants me to read the whole thing.
There are certain procedures that are required by statute, and even though no public member may be present here, it may open up the possibility of an appeal by somebody who was not here if certain parts weren't read, and rather than sort of pick and choose, the easiest
Okay.
thing to do is.
All right. Okay, well, then the 2 public hearings that we have on our land use applications tonight, as I mentioned earlier, and as Ms. Collins has already given us the staff report for the first one, each application that has been made has been prepared and available 7 days before tonight's hearing. The staff report identifies the approval criteria that apply to each applicant's proposal. Staff has analyzed the criteria which are contained in the staff report, along with written comments and input received through the public notification process for each application. The quasi-judicial hearing procedure that the commission will follow is set out in state law, as Mr. Kabizman has reminded me, and the Oregon City Municipal Code. The hearing procedure steps are shown on the chart to, is that west? I'm going to say, is that north, west, south, east? What direction is that?
Your left.
My
Left.
stage left. Anyone wishing to speak should fill out a yellow slip and give it to the planning staff before the hearing. Letters, reports, or pictures must be marked as an exhibit by the planning staff before they are submitted into the record. For the public record, please begin all testimony stating your name and address. Testimony and evidence should be directed toward the applicable approval criteria. If you believe other criteria apply in addition to those addressed in the staff report, identify and discuss those criteria and explain why you believe they apply to the application under consideration. A person does not have to testify in order to submit written materials of any length while the public record is open on each application. However, any party wishing a continuance or to keep the record open must make that request before the public hearing is closed. If the planning commission makes a decision with which you disagree, any issue which you may wish to appeal must have been raised for the commission's consideration. Without raising the issue on the record with sufficient specificity and accompanied by statements or evidence so that the city and all parties can respond, the issue will not be adjudged appealable to the State Land Use Board of Appeals. In addition, ORS 197-796 requires us to announce the following. The failure of an applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to proposed conditions of approval without or with sufficient specificity to allow the local government or its designee to respond to the issue precludes an action for damages in circuit court. And since I'm going to be opening the public hearing now on ZC 01-02, I need to ask if any of the commissioners have any ex parte contacts, conflicts of interest, or bias, or wish to make any other statement. No. All righty. Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't really need to go. We have a little timing procedures, but I don't think we need to worry with that tonight. And so is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this Oregon City School District zone change? Seeing none, are we ready then to close the public hearing?
Sure.
Yes.
Alrighty, then the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, any further deliberation? Seeing none, are we ready to make a motion then?
We're agreeing on this, right?
I believe so.
Based on the findings and analysis, I move that we recommend to the City Commission to approve the requested zone change for Clackamas County FU 10 future urban 10-acre minimum to City of Oregon City CI Campus Industrial District for the subject property identified as Clackamas County Map 3S2E 9D, tax lot 1200, and adopt proposed ordinance 01-1023.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion with a second. Please poll the commission.
Commissioner Surratt,
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Bailey,
Aye.
Chairperson Carter.
Aye.
Motion that carries unanimously. That's a recommendation to the City Commission to adopt the requested zone change from county future urbanizable to city campus industrial zoning.
Okay. Next on our agenda is zone change 01-03, Thomas Hurt, from an R10 single-family dwelling to an RD4. Okay, and the public hearing is open on that. Ms. Collins will be our staff person.
And a superb one at that.
Chairperson and Commissioners. This is another zone change request, as already announced, for a zone change from an R10 single-family dwelling district to RD4. It's a duplex residential dwelling district. The property is approximately 1 acre and is located on Warner-Parrott Road, east of the intersection of Leland Road and Central Point. It shows up on the graphic as the property identified in yellow. The comprehensive plan map designation for this subject property is medium density residential. And the zone that implements medium density residential is RD4 two-family residential district, and the property does consist of 2 parcels. If the Planning Commission approves this rezone, each parcel may accommodate 1 duplex, and the subject property may be ultimately divided into 4 duplex lots with a total of 8 housing units. Right now, the subject property currently is occupied by 2 single family residences. Therefore, this zone change creates a change in potential housing and development, residential development by 6 units altogether. The rest of the property surrounding the area is designated low-density residential and is zoned R10 as mostly R10. That's about it. The staff has reviewed once again the zone change criteria. In your staff report on page 3, we recommend that criterion A, or we assert that criterion A has been met because of the timely and orderly and efficient arrangement of public services to the previously designated density that the comprehensive plan map designation allowed. Criterion B, the area is served or can be served by all infrastructure, and so that criterion is met. Criterion C, the transportation issue, is that this zone change does not require huge expenditures in transportation infrastructure in order to build a more dense residential area. So we believe that criterion is also met. And then finally, we are required to address the statewide goals if the city comprehensive plan is not adopted. However, since it is, criterion D is met as well. Therefore, staff's recommendation is that the Planning Commission recommend to approve the requested zone change from the R10 single-family dwelling district that the subject property is now has as its underlying zone to RD4, which would allow 2 family dwellings on that acre of property. And I will be happy to answer questions. I believe the applicant, the property owner, is here also. He may want to testify.
Okay, I have a question of clarification on the basic facts number 3. I'm confused about approving the rezone to RD4. Says that each parcel may accommodate 1 duplex, but that the subject property may ultimately divide into 4 duplex lots. Now, could you clarify that for me, please?
Well, I'm not sure where the confusion is. I believe that what Ms. Shields was referring to is that the subject property has almost an acre has the potential of, with the zoning requirements in RD4, of being divided into 4 duplex lots, which makes a density of 8 housing units.
Well, I don't know, maybe I'm being really dense here. I don't get why she's saying that, you know, that each parcel, you know, may accommodate 1 duplex. I mean, it sounds like it's sort of an either, yeah, it sounds like it's sort of,
Currently, each parcel may accommodate 1 duplex, but they could ask for a subdivision, correct?
You could, or the ultimate density, disregarding the single-family dwellings that are on each of the parcels now, if they were removed, then your ultimate density is 8 dwelling units. I believe that's what Ms. Shields was getting at through the creation of 4 duplex units. You come out with 8 dwelling units
okay.
On
So-
the 2 parcels.
on the 2 parcels as a whole.
I think maybe the confusion comes from the statement that each parcel may accommodate 1 duplex. It is conceivable that you could put several duplexes on 1 parcel, but the most likely thing that would happen is that it gets subdivided into or a series of partition. But however it happens, it gets divided into the individual parcels. So the important point that I think Ms. Shields was making is that the ultimate density that could come out of this is 8 units.
Even though there is no proposal on the table to do that now, but that is the long-term result of a zone change action.
Right.
Yes, that's correct. And again, we're dealing
You're
with.
correct, the wording is not clear.
All right.
Okay, yeah, because I was feeling,
I hear what you're saying now, I think. And we'll try to clarify that for the next round.
It-
Again, when in zone changes, we try to step away and say, okay, if this zone change happens, what's the difference between, 10,000 square foot lots and the RD4 duplex, minimum density? And in this case, what happens is a largish potential addition of housing units to a medium density level. That's pretty much all we need to know. So I apologize if that isn't clear. We'll rectify that point.
well, that was my only question.
I would only comment that given the location of the property and the surrounding uses and kind of the intent of the comprehensive plan underlying it, notwithstanding the fact that the comprehensive plan overall needs to be updated, I think that the 8, ultimately, if there were in the future 8 housing units on this property, I think that's an appropriate use of this area. I have no problem with the proposal as outlined.
We didn't have any neighborhood objections or anything like that in the file, so I assume there haven't been any.
There have been no comments to my knowledge.
Okay. Any comments? Okay. Yes, did any of the commissioners have any ex parte conflicts with this?
None.
All right, did the applicant wish to come forward and have any input?
I'm here to answer questions more than anything else, so
Okay.
it's available for you if you have.
Any questions of the applicant?
None from me.
Chairperson Carter, since you've asked the applicant to come forward, he needs to at least come forward and identify himself for the record.
Yes. Sorry, just to make sure that our record's complete.
I'm Tom Hurt, and I live at 668 Warner Parrott Road, and I appreciate your consideration of my application. Just here to answer any questions you might have.
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank
We've
you.
already validated, we have no questions, but we appreciate your willingness to answer them. Okay, then, is there anyone else in the audience wishing to make comment to this application? Seeing none, we will go ahead and close the public hearing for ZC 01-03. Is there any further deliberation among the commissioners?
I would just suggest that perhaps the staff might reword item number 3 under basic facts on page 2 to consolidate that that statement to something along this line, and I quote, "The subject property currently consists of 2 parcels, period. If the Planning Commission approves this rezone to RD4, under the code requirements, each parcel," and then we'll jump down a line, "may be ultimately divided into 4 duplex lots with a total density of 8 housing units." That's my understanding.
I think actually each parcel, I don't have the size of them right here, but at the end of the day, the most that could be done with this is 4 parcels with with a duplex on each parcel.
Okay. That's the other way of saying it.
So that there's, and let me see if I can, if the planning commission approves this rezone to RD4 under the
That's
code
correct. You're
requirements, the subject property may ultimately divide it into 4 duplex lots with a total density of 8 housing units. So eliminate that, the wording, each parcel may accommodate 1 duplex.
Yeah.
Does that
Yes.
work with the?
No, that's fine.
And somehow make the math work.
Okay, are we ready to make a motion then?
It's better.
I would move that based on the analysis and findings and amendment of the basic facts as we just outlined them to make the math work out, the proposed, on the proposed zone change from R10 single-family dwelling district to RD4 two-family dwelling district, and the finding that that satisfies the requirements in the Oregon City Comprehensive Plan and the Oregon City Municipal Code, I would recommend that, or move that we recommend the City Commission to approve the requested zone change for the property identified as Clackamas County Map 3S 2E 6DB, tax lots 1700 and 1800, and adopt proposed ordinance 00-1024, which makes it all official.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second. Please poll the commission.
Commissioner Bailey,
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Surratt,
Aye.
Chairperson Carter.
Aye.
Motion is approved unanimously to recommend to the City Commission that the approximate 1 acre of property along fronting Warner Barrett Road that the zone for that property be changed from R10 to RD4, and also that to point out, I guess, that the comprehensive plan map has previously designated this area for medium density residential. This is the proper zone to carry out development.
Good. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Go forth and get that hammer.
Once the city commission approves.
That's right.
I was just going to say, I wish you would say.
Alrighty, then we would be ready to head into the old business and the adoption of our 2001 mission statement and goals and objectives.
No, you don't have to. You can go home. No. Well, it's a leading question. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you asking staff? I was totally involved in.
I think we're ready to
Okay.
have the adoption of our 2001 mission statement. And I guess if we're, I'm not finding a copy of that in here. Is there one? Oh, oh, that's what I thought it was. Aha, there it is. Okay, so do we have a motion to adopt our 2001 mission statement?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second to adopt our 2001 mission statement. Should I read our mission statement before we adopt it?
It would be useful.
Okay. Our new mission statement for this year would be that the mission of the Oregon City Planning Commission is to implement a proactive and positive planning strategy that preserves and enhances community character and improves the quality of the city's urban environment. Please poll the commission.
Commissioner Surratt,
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Bailey, Chairperson Carter.
Aye.
The motion was unanimous.
Okay, we also would like to have a motion to adopt our 2001 goals and objectives. Our goal number 1 is to enhance public knowledge, to promote and support quality public planning. Number 1, to work for adequate planning resources. And number 2, to promote and undertake a community event to raise awareness of planning issues and solutions. Our goal number 2 is to promote coordination. 1, to attend as many joint work sessions as possible. 2, to promote positive relations with all city boards and commissions, city staff, the city commission, and the Chamber of Commerce. Goal 3 is to promote, enhance, and restore the city's natural resources. Number 1, to build on past successes such as the adopted Title III requirements, Park and Recreation Master Plan, Stormwater Management Regulations, the Transportation System Plan, the Malala Avenue Bikeway and Boulevard Improvements Plan, and revised design standards. 2, to inventory the city's natural resources with emphasis on steep slopes and canyons. And 3, to evaluate the city's tree canopy to determine its preservation role in the comprehensive plan update. Our goal 4 is to promote transportation options for Oregon City. 1 is to evaluate awareness of multimodal transportation options, and 2 is to advocate connectivity in all decisions. Goal 5 is to promote sustainability options for Oregon City. 1, to support efficient and environmentally sound concepts in all development proposals. And with that, do we have a motion?
I move to accept or adopt the goals and goals and objectives, read.
Okay, we have a motion with a second. Please poll the commission.
Commissioner Surratt,
Aye.
Commissioner Mengelberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Bailey,
Aye.
Chairperson Carter.
Aye.
Unanimous. Oh, that's pretty obvious.
Okay, so under new business, do we have communications from staff to the commission?
We have finished some recruitment for staff replacements, and we have some hope that we'll have some staff people to interview. That's probably a month away. In the meantime, we continue to kind of run short, but we're doing well. For you, reminder, if you did not send in your reservation, the volunteer picnic is the evening of July 10th at Riverside Park. The city every year holds an evening thank you for all the volunteers, the many hundreds, I think at least 200 volunteers who do various things to help the community through volunteering on citizen committees and boards and commissions.
Alrighty. And we have any comments by the commissioners?
I would just note that I did, in fact, myself sent a letter to Metro on their transportation planning priority setting to reflect the 3 transportation projects that Nancy Krashour presented to us last time: Malala Avenue, the was it Washington Street, and McLaughlin corridor from the bridge to the railroad tunnel. Whether it's the commissioners or anybody else in the public, I think that we need to line up and let them know that those are important to us. And that those will go a long ways towards helping to carry out some of the planning work that has been underway here in Oregon City. Maybe we can make some traction on it and people can start to see some real improvements out in the real world.
And I did want to mention that Mayor Williams and Commissioner Neely and myself were there to testify in person. We had maps that were very helpful. They had outlined some of the criteria along with the maps, and we had, I think, very good testimony. I was able to give some very personal testimony about the conditions on Malala Avenue, and I think that that we did have a very nice presentation for them, and hope that we do have a positive result. So at least we gave it our best shot.
Absolutely.
Any other comments this evening? No?
Perhaps Commissioner Minglewood would like to discuss that. Well, you have a copy there to discuss a brochure that she brought to your attention as a commission tonight.
As one of our objectives in the goals and objectives, we talked about sustainability. So this is a brochure about a workshop that's called the Oregon Sustainability Forum. It's held on September 6th through 8th in Portland. And it talks about sustainability in a number of different ways. It sounded like a good opportunity to get more up to date on this very popular topic. And it looks at sustainability both in terms of economics, ecology, and equity. So I thought it was interesting to bring to the Commission's attention if they wanted to pursue it further.
Great, well, we appreciate you bringing that to our attention, and it will be good to look over this information and see if any of us would be able to attend. It sounds like it would be very interesting.
Is this an item at which the city may be willing to sponsor commissioners to?
We'll be looking at the budget after July 1, and I can investigate that for you and bring you back a response.
Okay.
Perhaps partial tuition, if not full. I'll be able to know what our budget is after July 1.
Okay. Okay, well then I think that's about wraps it up for this evening. So if we are ready to adjourn, I move that we are ready to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well thank you very much.